Hi. Okay. I know it's Josh will be taking over next week on this subject, so on lifestyle. So it's just at the moment. I've got quite a lot happening on Cambridge at the moment, but yeah. Okay. So I know it may look a bit confusing on the timetable with Josh's picture there, but actually I'm doing today's class. Right. Okay. Let's I share my screen. Interesting question, interesting topic today, Chloe. I'm glad you joined because I think it's really going to be quite useful discussion. It's about school. Okay. There's two videos here, and I thought I'd play the second video. The first one is about children. Do you feel that school starts too early? Do you think schools should, do you think children should sleep in a bit later? Do you think they would do better if they started, say 10 o'clock in the morning instead of, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock? What's your thoughts, Faith?
When I was a student, I want wake up late, wake up later, at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. But now, when I grow up, I think if the rule said the school time start at 10 o'clock, and then you will sleep overnight or like at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. But if the rule said the school time started at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you will sleep earlier.
That's a very good point, isn't it? Children who go to bed early get up early. Children who go to bed late get up. Children who go to bed late get up early. Children who go to bed late get up early. Not quite sure what that means. Children who go to bed early get up early. Anyway, yes, I think you raise a very good question. It's almost human nature, isn't it? That if you're given that flexibility, you'll use it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to be pushed to be having that guide, that structure, that time frame to be there, that push. Otherwise, we won't. We'll just maybe get too comfortable. That's a good question. That push. If it's 10 o'clock in the morning, you'll get used to it. It'll become too early again, and you'll be pushing it back. 9 o'clock in the morning. I do sometimes feel maybe it's still a bit too early at having to be at school at 7:30. And what time do you have to be at school? Again, shifts, don't you, Chloe? It's
in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I think kindergarten is more flexible than elementary school. Our children, they can come from they can go to school from 7:30 to 9 o'clock.
Right. Okay.
For 1.5 hour to.
I see. There's a time. Right. Okay. Yes, I see what you mean.
You can arrive during this time.
That's quite a good idea, that, isn't it? Yeah, you can accommodate different children coming in at different times, and maybe there's
just because we supply breakfast in kindergarten. So if you come to school at 9 o'clock, and it means you you don't want to eat your breakfast at school, and if you want to have breakfast and come earlier.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yeah, that's right. You can probably, if the breakfast is quite nice at school, yes, sometimes.
Sometimes it's bread and sometimes toast like
Yeah,
that.
I suppose it's, yeah, that's right. It's very convenient for the parents, I think, as well, isn't it? That they can bring the children in. What you would say, just and how would you define yourself? Are you a morning person, Chloe? We've kind of talked about it before, but I'm just thinking, are you more of a evening person? Would you call yourself a early bird or a night owl? Just that again. We had a topic about that before.
Yes.
But night owl people like to stay up late. I think that's, yeah. I mean, for children, you know, I suppose it was when I was a child, it was quite fun staying up late. You know, you quite enjoyed it. You know, it's that temptation, isn't it? That we're sometimes staying up late at night is fun. Waking up in the morning is awful. It's a struggle. Sometimes morning is cold, and you know it's. But do you feel that children are becoming more like night owls now? Do you think it's getting harder for them to get up early?
I think in my mind, I am a night owl, but because
Yes.
of this work, I must be an early bird.
Early bird. Yes, yes, that's. I think you raise a good point. I think that if we don't have to get up early, then we will stay up late. And I've had a cancellation this morning. I knew that, so my first class was cancelled. So 10:30 was my first class. So I was able to stay up late last night. But it was something that, yeah, can interrupt your schedule. So it's a habit that grounds us as well. Yeah, okay, we've got just a few questions here. I thought, yeah, what's your first memory of school? Can you remember your first, is it your first day at school? Is that going too far back, Chloe? Is that too first day at school or your first memory of school? I'm trying to think of it as well. I can't remember as it walking to school. Yeah. Was it the primary school? Not this big.
I have no memory about that.
Yeah, can't remember much about it either. No, I could just the odd little memories here and there, isn't it? Like I remember playing rounders, a bit like baseball. I hit the ball and it went out of the playground. Oh yes, kicked. No, that was later in my. I can't remember the early years, but maybe my later ones. In the first, kick the ball out of the ground. Something to do with football, I think it was for me, a sport, something. Yeah. Do you think children like school? Do you think they've got happy memories of school? Or how yeah, did you enjoy school, Chloe? How do you feel? Was it happy memories?
I think yes.
Mm.
When I was student, but now school life, I just the work.
I kind of think over here, a lot of children, I think, do not like school. I mean, why do you think it is that many children don't like school? I think over here, I think in the West, I think a lot of children don't enjoy school. Why do you think so? Why is that, do you think? Why do you think a lot of children do not like school?
I think because of homework and the test.
Yeah, tests, isn't it? Tests and maybe restrictions, Chloe, isn't it? You have to, the bell rings. I always remember the bell ringing. Oh, the stress, the year, oh, I've got to do this. Or you're late, you know, you're always worried about being late for, you know, class, or, yeah. Or, yeah, just somehow the feeling, you know, yeah. Control, maybe you don't really, you have to do this, you have to do that, you always get shouted at, or you this, that, the other. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's, you've been herded from one school classroom to another classroom. So bell rings, ding, 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 next classroom, you go from here, got to get over to there, and then ding a ding, the next classroom, ding a ding, I think. So you're like a herd of people, like cattle just going from one place to another. But then again, how do you manage school anyway? It's quite a challenge. Is that how you do it between classes, Chloe? Is it the bell rings, or the school bell rings and then the children go to another classroom? I mean, how does it work?
In kindergarten, we don't have, and the time is very flexible. We teachers can manage time by ourselves.
All right. Okay. So
But just have lunch at 11 o'clock and wake up at 2:30 in the afternoon.
right. Yeah,
And between this time you can do anything like tell them the story or play games. You can manage your your class time.
Is that what you do, Chloe? You support the teacher and assist with the activities, or is that so? That's helping with the children, read to them, and get them to learn different things in the kindergarten. Right. So it's a schedule, isn't it? Nice. Yeah, what was the most important thing you learned at school? What do you think, Chloe? What was the most important thing, would you say? Anything? I'm just general things I'm thinking. I'm asking myself, what was the most important thing I learned at school? I can't think of that. Pain.
How to
get up early.
How to get along with people, I think.
Maybe so. That is a very good point. How to learn to get along with other people. I think there's a lot of social learning, isn't there, at school? I think we learn a lot.
When you at home and you just get along with your parents and my brother, and you can do anything you want. But when you get along with friends or another classmate, you need to be polite and be gentle.
It's yeah, very good point, isn't it? How we learn to communicate or learn from mistakes we make. Just an interesting one. Yes, if you, yeah, I was going to say if you could give yourself, if you could give it yourself advice, you know, to yourself when you were, I don't know, 11. I don't know. Is it the junior high school, Chloe? Is that when you start you do the, is it the kindergarten? And then once you finish kindergarten, what is your next school? Is it
elementary?
Elementary school. Okay. elementary school.
And then junior high school.
What
Junior,
advice? Junior
junior.
high school. Yeah. What advice would you give to junior high school if you yourself, say Chloe, now with more experience, to yourself, if you give advice to yourself when you at junior high school, any thoughts about that? It's beware about or learn about different, learn to read students better, or I think for me is to try to get your homework done quickly. I always did my homework last, hated it, it's like diseased, I don't want to touch it. So, but then I forget, and this pressure, you carry that because it's on your mind, it's on the homework to do. Oh, I want to get out the way. And so, yeah, I think wisdom would be to, as soon as you get the homework, it's fresh, try to get it done out the way. What advice would you give yourself, Chloe? If you saw yourself, I don't know, is it like 10 years old or something? You're ready to go to junior high school?
I think
How to get along with people is a good one.
Yes, also, and make more focus on English class and more than math or or
Oh,
I think useless useless class.
good point. You raise a very good question there. Actually, yes. If I was to give myself advice, I think that, yes, I would also tell myself I should recognize the importance of language and recognize certainly English to read more. I didn't do enough of that when I was a child. I think that is true. I think, we had languages like French and German, but I said, well, everybody doesn't speak French and German, so I don't need to learn it. So, that sometimes it would have been nice to, I think it's that the problem, I think, for my school was, I don't know what the future is. It's difficult to know. What am I supposed to learn? What would be good for me now? Because what I will need to know in 5 years from now, which isn't long, 3 years even, after school, I know it sounds obvious, but when you get all these classes, it's like, oh, what is this? What is that? Why should that purpose? I think I lacked that purpose. I didn't know what value that would bring. So English, I think, I didn't put enough. Actually, maybe it's a bit of a shock to admit that, but I didn't put enough emphasis on English on my own, actually, on that. So only in later life did I realize, I need to catch up on this. I need to get better at understanding my own language. Grammar was awful to learn. You're right, Chloe. I think that's a very good point, is it? Knowing what value, the benefits of the topic. I think that's a very good point. What are your best and worst, your best memories? Do you have any great memories of school? Just, I'll give you one of mine. It's when I was at, we call it secondary school. I was, let's see, I think I was 14. Anyway, I was the captain of the football team, and I scored the winning goal. It was against a rival school, kind of like a memory. I thought, so I was the winning goal scorer, sort of something like that. Or the Victor Ludorium, the athletics champion. That might have been something as well. It mostly was sport for me. Not very academic, I'm afraid. But Chloe, any thoughts? Your best memory in school?
In school, I think, in university time, my best memories, I think is internship time.
Hey, right. Yeah.
Our internship time, we learn how to teach in kindergarten, and uh, on that time it was very stressful, but I learned I learned many things on that time, and I think mm, that is the important time to in, to support me now where I work,
Hmm.
because I think because uh, this school now in our kindergarten, there are many freshmen in this kindergarten, and then there are no experienced teacher to teach us how to teach. So I always think how 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 what I learned in my internship time, and then take them to now and to teach. So I think that is very important. That was very important time for me in school,
Yeah.
I think. Mm.
You can see the purpose of it. Another question about, I'm going to just bring this up, school uniform. Do you think school uniform, should boys and girls wear the same uniform? Do you know, do you think that the school uniform, like over in the UK, there is a lot of, to look at boys and girls on the same level, to equal sort of basis. Do you think it's better that it would be good for, maybe girls to wear trousers as well, tie, shirts, but basically wear maybe trousers instead nowadays in later school?
Mm,
Thoughts there? It's just,
I think it's good to wear different. In my senior high school, girls wear pink uniform, and boys they wear blue uniform.
right, right.
Mm.
Do you think it's important to identify with the clothes something different? So maybe the colors represent boys and girls to look different. Do you think it's
I think color can be same, but
mm,
I think wear skirt, that
mm,
is a special time to for you to wear skirt in
mm,
in your life, because like uh, some some girls look look like boy,
mm, mm,
and they
mm.
they hate to wear skirt.
Right, yes. Tomboy. I think we call them tomboys.
Tomboy.
Tomboy. I'll just see if I can find that. Is it tomboy? One word. Tomboy. I think what does tomboy mean? A girl who behaves in a manner usually considered boyish, like a boyish girl. Tomboy. Uh, a a a boyish. Behavior. Yeah, tomboy girls. Tomboy. I don't know if you have any girls that look like that. I do recall when I was at Joyce School,
Mhm.
it's a Jiang Bushiban,
Mhm.
Jiang Bushi
Mhm.
Joyce School, and I do recall, I still have it in my mind where there was a girl, and I thought she was a boy. God, and I gave her. The paradox was I had like, let's have boys against girls, you know, like a competition, you know, in the class. And I made her, that I thought was a he, the leader of the boys team. So she
Oh.
in the team. Ah, God, what was the name? Gosh.
And does her voice like boy?
Yeah, looked like a boy. It's
Oh.
quite boyish in many ways, or just you know, expressive. God, I forgot her name. I was trying to with Heather. Yeah. Anyway, fortunately, it was okay. We could change the name. But then what happened was, Chloe, was that there was a day the school said, okay, no uniform, just come as you are, you know, come, just dress in your own clothes, you know. So that, I guess you probably have days where non-uniform day, is it non-uniform day? Anyway, she turned up. Anyway, she turned up in a sort of like a mini skirt, makeup, earrings. And you know, she was all dressed up. She's like, you know, this, I've forgotten her name, but anyway, the students, they could choose what clothes to wear. So anyway, that day, she deliberately dressed up with a maybe short skirts and like makeup. And you know, I was like, right, okay. You know, my mind was thinking, okay, be open-minded. It's a, you know, new generation thing. You know, got to be open-minded, Hector. This is open-minded, new thing. Boys wearing makeup, boys wearing skirts. I'm thinking this is a bit much, but I'm trying to open my mind. And of course, oh, thank God, it's like she's a girl. Thank goodness, because I was looking at her, thinking that it was a he dressed up in a girl's dress. So anyway, however, yeah. So that's interesting thought. Do you think that maybe the skirts does help them become more feminine, maybe more understanding of female thinking? Okay, I don't know. It's anyway, it's a debate that's going on at the moment over here. You know, whether, you know, boys and girls should wear the same uniform. I mean, I kind of think in the UK, probably I think would be good if they wore trousers, but maybe the color is different. Maybe the shirt is a different color. We should say maybe a pink shirt, boys is blue shirts. Maybe that's a good way to differentiate. Anyway, the most important thing to teach, the most important thing a school should teach children. I thought this was quite an interesting question, Chloe. The most important thing, because this video is talking about the problems of school, you know, the education system. It's all very drilling and practice and practice. I thought maybe what's the most important thing a school should teach children? Any thoughts or
I think attitude.
attitude? Good question. That's the point. Yes. How to spell psychology? Psychology. Never really took it seriously when I was younger, but psychology, maybe I should say attitude. I kind of feel psychology very, very important. I think today, especially, what do you think are the most challenging things about today's children? with the social media, the challenge. Um,
Pay attention on one thing.
yeah, that maybe it's very true, isn't it? That invasion of privacy. Yeah, too time consuming to monitor. Oh, parents challenging. Oh, parents challenging. Oh, yes. The app experience, yes. There's so many distractions, isn't it, today? Is it very difficult for children to concentrate now, Chloe? What do you think? Is it, the social, I mean, there's so much social media. What do you do with the school? Is it like, can children bring do they, I guess not. I guess they don't have phones, right? Do they have mobile phones?
They don't have, but
No.
their parents use mobile phone to make them be quiet.
Oh, right. Does that mean they have a simple phone, or they don't?
Real phone to show them the video or some games to to make children be quiet in restaurant or at home. So now there is a new words. I think that is called like mobile parents. I'm not sure the English. Just like mobile phone is your parents.
Yeah, babysitting, mobile. I'm thinking, yeah, we have a thing called babysitter. It's like a babysitter would come along and just look after the children whilst the parents are out. But maybe you're right. Maybe this is now the new sort of way of, I've seen that a lot now. Yeah, children given a tablet. Okay, just look at that. Okay, there you enjoy it. Keep yourself busy. Yes. Phone babysitting. I wonder if that could be it. Yes, keeping them occupied. Oh, dear me, right. Do you think they're getting younger now? I mean, do these pictures look a bit worrying? Have you seen this, Chloe, where some children or babies, I'll say, very, very young, are now just looking on the phone too early?
Yeah.
Is that
And
the way
I don't
to
like it.
Is it, I don't know what you think, Chloe. I mean, is the new generation now going to be it's changing so quickly now. I don't know how you think. But I see it as well. I think around the world, isn't it? I see it where maybe parents are shopping and then the child is just looking at the screen, is like glued. Yeah. Where do you see? Is it like in the restaurants? The parents will probably say, okay, there you go, enjoy your game. Yeah. Gaming is very, very popular. It's getting more and more popular, isn't it? Yeah, just kind of wonder where this will lead to. Do you think this is reducing their communication skills? How to talk? You go to school, you communicate. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
In my class, there are 3 children. They cannot say more than 3 words in one sentence. Very terrible.
Is it because they don't? Is it just through through the phone. They're like the mind is just focused so much on.
Yes,
Is-
and another reason is their parents, they make less interaction with their children.
Oh, right, right. Neglects. Okay, yeah, sort of a bit neglected. You see that quite often when the children are collected by the parents. It's like, there you go, phone, okay, put you in there. And just look at the screen and keep them busy. Yeah. It does sometimes beg the question. I know it's a sensitive question, but why have children in some ways if we just, have a child and then all you're going to do is just give them a screen and then they just live an independent life. Because it is a different thing now, isn't it? That the invasion or the internet is now so powerful that it's like, wow, they're almost living, a different life in the house. And, it's almost like a stranger, almost become a stranger in the house. I think a lot of people, so I kind of think psychology, very important. They have I think in the brain itself, I think we have, is it the limbic system? The limbic system in the brain. This is the demand part of the brain. And then we've got the frontal lobe system, which is the reasoning side. So yeah, it's like this is the reasoning side, but then inside is the limbic system, which is the demand center, which is do this, do that. So it's that balance between, and I think the limbic system in the brain gets too powerful. That's where people get addicted or they get too overly dependent on things. And that can be a real problem. That's the limbic system. So it's how to train, recognize that side of the brain. It's quite interesting how we understand ourselves, our natural thinking. But then the temptation to play games, the limbic system will say, I want to play, I want to play. It's like a child in our heads. I want to sleep in, I don't want this, don't you only do the nice things that you want to do. Anyway, that's it's difficult for children. Anyway, what kind of discipline do you think there should be in schools? I don't know. Any discipline? No phones. Okay, no phones. You can't take a phone in. Difficult to do though, isn't it? You cannot bring a phone. You cannot bring your cell phone to school. That's difficult though, isn't it, Chloe? Or is it? Is it easy for schools to not say no phones, not allowed? Which cannot take your phone. No phones. Is that?
You mean teacher no phone in the school or children?
No phones. No phones for children in the school. What do you think? Yeah.
No phones for children in school. I think they will be
Angry.
anxiety.
Anxiety, right. The limbic system, Chloe, that'll be it. It'll be part of the brain, which is so, the demand part of the brain will cause that anxiety. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, just clubs and school clubs. Do you have any particular school clubs? Or did you belong to any school clubs before we finish, Chloe? Did you join any?
Yes, in the past, I joined a picture book.
Picture book, art class. You enjoyed art, yes. Yes. Trying to think what Yeah, I kind of wished I did a cooking class, but I didn't do that. I joined the chess club. Not exactly exciting. I was part of the school band. That was right, the school band. School band. Trombone. They decided that my arms are quite long, so they threw me a trombone. So I was playing the trombone. Boom! It was a good attack, you know. Right, okay. I'm going to play you. Anyway, there was quite useful a weapon. No, yeah, I was part of the trombone playing. So anyway, not very good for the neighbours. Not very helpful, especially if you don't play it well. Anyway, Chloe, okay, interesting questions, interesting thoughts. And it's just looking at the way in which education, problems of our school system, quite interesting topic, Chloe. But thanks for that. It's a very interesting point that if we do put the time back, we're likely to still sleep in. It's like we don't want to go. It's probably like the limbic system. Oh, I don't want to go to school, so I'll sleep in. Therefore, we need to have a certain time to go to school. Otherwise, we'll sleep in. So I think that's the answer for that. I think that's a very good answer, Chloe. Right, I shall leave it here, Chloe. That's really good. It's been nice to talk to you. And I think there's another class coming up next, isn't it? That's culture, I believe, isn't it, with Greg? So I'll let you go. Chloe, have a great evening, or enjoy your class with Greg if you like to join him, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.